YouTube. What's up, YouTube? To my friend that made that last comment on the last video, I said I'd direct a video around you. Partially, this video will be around you. Then the other part's going to be inflation about the United States and why nobody wants to work right now, or nobody wants to work. So my friend, I think you went back to high school. I don't know how old you are, but it sounds like you went back to school and you're miserable and you're hitting the booze and maybe doing some drugs again or something. That right there is your telltale, man. Like, I don't know how old you are and how important it is that you go to school, but my advice would be, if I had to live my life over again, I would have dropped out of school immediately. I would have saved enough money to support myself and then went on my own immediately, like as soon as fucking possible. There came to a point, I think up until 8th grade, I learned something because I was wanting to go to school. But once high school hit, halfway through my freshman year in high school, that's when I should have dropped out of school. That's when I should have got a job. For real, I didn't do much learning after that. Anything after that was pretty much me smoking weed, me boozing, whatever. Anything to get out of the moment because I fucking hated school. So imagine if I dropped out freshman year when I was feeling that way and didn't give a fuck what anybody else said, just got a job, just whatever. My parents probably would have forced me to go to some fucking group home or something. But still, that would have been better for me to get my shit together on my own, because I had to do that when I got out of high school. So imagine if I did it 3 years before, and then maybe I'd be 3 years before in this business, etc. You know what I mean? So if you're really hating school that much that you have to do drugs or booze, first of all, you're not in the right school. Second of all, maybe school is not for you completely, and drop the fuck out, get a job, save money, start a business, and fucking live the good life. You know what I mean? Because that schooling, those days of boozing, they're not going to help you, dude. They're just not going to help you. So a lot of times you have to go against what your parents are saying. You have to go against what society is saying. And it's just dude, you have to do what's best for you. I don't care if you're a freshman in high school or whatever it is. I've met people that didn't even go to school. They didn't even go to school. You know what I mean? It was a son of a kid that was working at an asphalt company. His dad owned it, but he didn't even go to school. I was like, damn, dude. He said he's been working since he was little, and he had a bunch of money saved up. I was like, fuck. I missed out on that boat. So if you're getting this now and you're thinking about oh fuck, it's school for me, drop the fuck out. Drop the fuck out. The school literally didn't do too much for me. You know what I mean? All my high school friends, I really don't even keep in touch with them. A couple people, but not really. All my friends from high school era, they were mainly in the neighborhood, and people I played sports with wasn't even from school. So the amount of connections that I didn't make at high school, it's just I should have dropped out right there in 9th grade and just worked and fucking played basketball in the side leagues and shit like that. But that's what I would do if I were you, man. If you're hitting the booze that hard and you're feeling that miserable about it, you might have an addiction problem, but it's probably because your habits aren't in line with your future. So really think about what I just said, man. And then another thing I wanted to touch base on that just came to mind is the problem with nobody wants to work in America. Because I was maybe I'm starting a wave here on YouTube, because I'm trying to teach people how to start their own business, how to make their own money, so you don't have to rely on a boss. You can just rely on yourself. And all of you can do it. All of you can fucking do it. If you have one little... You don't even have to be an expert in the thing you want to sell. You know what I mean? If you have one little thing you can sell, you can monetize that, you can market it on Facebook, and you can just go. I've already told you several times, I have more than how much do I have? I have 4 times the amount of money that I've ever had in my life. I started this business a couple months ago, 7 or 8 months ago. 4 times the amount of money I've ever saved up in my life. That's what I have now, just to give you an idea. But it is about the money, but I get to decide. Like, I don't have to answer to nobody. Like, I don't have to answer to a dick boss that, like, 9 times out of 10, any company I was with was a dick boss. I don't got to fucking answer to that guy. I don't have to answer to a school teacher, whatever. I'm my own teacher. I set my own schedule. I make the plans. I can take a day off if I want to. I don't want to because then I miss out on money. But for example, like a week or two ago, me and Rachel went to Western Mass, took a couple days off. Cool. I didn't have to ask for nobody's fucking approval to do that. I just had to rearrange my schedule to do it. Sorry, I was getting a little off topic there. But the reason why nobody wants to work in America, I know you've all heard it, whatever. It's because inflation and the power of the dollar isn't the fucking same. And the people that are saying that people don't want to work in this country are generally from the baby boomer generation. When they didn't necessarily have things easier, but financially it was easier because the jobs paid according to the real estate market. Like now, like if you work a normal job, say if you work at Valvoline, whatever, 40 hours a week, I'm pretty sure you cannot work that 40 hours a week job and get an apartment, pay rent where you can live comfortably, like in a 1-bedroom or whatever it is. Like in Massachusetts, I know you definitely can't. Like say if you make $600 a week, $800 a week, you rent a apartment for $1,500 a month. If you're making $600 or $800 a week, that's extremely hard to pay that fucking $1,500 a month. Like even if you have $1,000 a month to pay for rent, $800 a week, $1,600, that's $3,200 in a month that you're making. It's just not a lot, man. Like, you know, like I feel like back in the day they had it a little easier. Real estate was more towards them. Yeah, granted, maybe people are a little bit lazy now, but I feel like Google's out there, so they're like, why would I do this when I can start my own business? I feel like there is a lot of lazy people in society now. But I think there's plenty of people that want to work. They're just kind of like, they're doing their research and shit. They're, you know, like, I think there might be a wave of small business owners like myself, and it's just going to keep going and keep going. You know, like, that's what I see happening, because if these big companies can't get people to work for them, which, unless they raise the minimum wage, or unless they raise how much they're paying the people, why the fuck would anybody want to work for a company? Like, I know I don't want to go to work for a company that makes $600 a week or $800 a week and have to put in 40 hours a week, have to put up with the bullshit, have to put up with the manager, have to, you know, all that shit. Like, no, like, I'd rather, like, I enjoy the headache of putting my own schedule together and stressing out about this or that versus responding to somebody. It's just way better. And then plus, like, I create the I create the job, the vibe of the job site here. So I'm really like, you know, like, do your own thing, guys, be your own boss. You know, let me do my job, you do your job, and let's all take responsibility for what we're doing here. I think that's the main thing that a lot of society doesn't get nowadays, is that they don't take responsibility for what they're doing. They always want to fucking point their finger at this or that, when really you have to take responsibility for doing what you're doing. That's how you level up, man. That's how, like, you're never gonna get to a level of being a business owner and being a successful business owner if you don't take responsibility for what you're doing. And even if somebody else in your business doesn't take responsibility because of a mistake they made, you have to take it as your own responsibility, them lying, because you hired these people. You can't get mad at them. You might as well just fire them. You know what I mean? You can get mad at them, yeah, whatever. You can yell at them, yeah, whatever. But at the end of the day, you have to take responsibility for that and own up to it. That is, this is your company. They did that because of something you did. You know what I mean? Everything reflects back on you. Yeah, so sorry to go on a little rant about that, but yeah, man, if you're feeling like that about school, start your own business. That's all I have to say to that. Get your own money, get your own place. Go through all that you're going through without school, because then you'll, like, learn some real life shit. Like, if you're relying on somebody else to pay your rent right now because you're going to school, fuck that, dude. It's not teaching you anything. It really isn't. I didn't learn anything fucking in high school about financial anything. Just relying on mom and dad to pay the fucking rent, and then when I went to college, it was a real reality shock, because, you know, it was like, fuck, I have to pay my cell phone bill, I have to buy a car, I have to do this and do that. Everything that was provided to me in high school, I had to figure out in college. And, you know, then I just dropped out of college because I'm like, this is dumb. So, give yourself that freedom early on. You don't even wait till college to give you that freedom, man. Like, I'm telling you, like, you're gonna look back at this video and be like, that was the best advice anybody's ever given me. All right, with that, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.